So Saturday, the Air Zoo hosting a World War II victory celebration with live swing music and dancing, plus rare access to the World War II aircraft cockpits. Very cool stuff. And that celebration does continue this week. A big part of the celebration is, of course, the Air Zoo and the Gerald R. Ford Presidential Museum. Two of which of those people are joining us here in studio. We've got Joe Westfall, who is also the chairman of the event here, and of course, Troy Thrash, who you just heard from in that soundbite from the Air Zoo, now joining us in studio. Thank you so much for being here yet again. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for having us once again.
Yeah, of course. So let's talk about how things have been going so far. It kicked off Monday. How has the celebration been?
Amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, the crowds, I was just thrilled to see the size of the crowds show up for the parade and the flyover, just thousands of people. I haven't heard yet what the estimate was from the city on how many thousands of people were there, but there were, I think it was like 3,000 to 5,000 people.
Wow.
And then the ballpark last night was fantastic. And we have more going on.
Yeah, lots more going on.
Lots more going on.
Well, I was going to say the video that I saw of the parade, I mean, it did look pretty packed downtown.
Yeah.
Lots of people out there to celebrate the greatest generation. And Troy, you are playing kind of a big role in this with the Air Zoo's participation this year. You know, you guys brought some artifacts, especially that big airplane that we keep seeing in those videos, especially in the parade, which was brought up last week to be a participant this week. How has it been going on your end from the Air Zoo's perspective?
It has been wholly amazing to be part of this, to be a partner with Joel and the committee for about 9 months.
Yeah.
And we're honored to do it when I think about our founders, Pete and Sue Parrish, World War II veterans, and to be able to tell their stories once again like we do down at the Air Zoo. But what we saw on Monday especially, just how excited the young people and old were about just some of the things that we brought out. And the idea of seeing an aircraft going through the streets of downtown Grand Rapids was truly astounding for so many people. So we are proud every moment to be a part of this work.
Yeah, there's that big plane we were talking about. Tell us about that plane. Why was it so significant to show off this time around here at the celebration?
So that is an FM-2 Wildcat fighter that served in World War II, and in this case, it was one of the first aircraft in our collection. It was Pete Parrish's favorite aircraft to fly. Pete was a Marine, served in Guadalcanal in the South Pacific, and so the Wildcat fighter was so important in the South Pacific in winning some of those really important battles, those really important islands, and so a great way to tell that story and Pete's story as well for everyone.
Yeah, okay, so you're just getting into my next question here, and I want both of you guys to answer this. There's been a lot of talk, the lead up of this week, and what we would be looking at in terms of the artifacts and also the people of World War II, right? A lot of these artifacts do kind of help tell the stories of those folks that some aren't around for us to talk to these days. Can you talk about how these artifacts help just tell that story?
Well, we have artifacts at the museum right now. We have an artifact from Steelcase, which is the same type of table that was used for Douglas MacArthur, affixed his signature on the deck of the USS Missouri in Tokyo Bay on September 2nd, 1945. We're very happy to have that. We have Sue Parrish's uniform when she was a WASP. And we have that at the museum as well. Artifacts, documents, I'm an archivist, it's one of my jobs. Documents are great, but artifacts, I think, speak to people maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
The visceral nature of an artifact just literally speaks volumes compared to maybe looking at a document on a wall.
Yeah.
And it's just that kind of visceral reaction that people have when they see an airplane, going through the streets or at the ballpark. It captures the imagination in such a great way.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, I wholly agree with Joel when we think about, whether it's something large like an aircraft or a spacecraft or something small like some of the artifacts that we have here. Thinking about airplanes, at the end of the day, they are beautiful, huge chunks of metal and rubber, but it is the stories of the people that designed them, that built them, that flew them, that maintained them, that really bring that aircraft to life. And if I can dive into these for just a second, just to give you some ideas.
And we got to show you, he's putting the gloves on. You mentioned the
that's
curator
right.
has taught him
Yep,
well,
the
right?
curator has taught him well.
Yes. We want to make sure I don't get any oils from my fingers on any of these, because they certainly could damage them, because yes, we are talking about 80-plus-year-old artifacts here. And so thinking, for example, this mess kit here. Okay, this is a mess kit from World War II, really cool. All right, but let's look at how this was personalized. So if we look here, you can see this person traveled from New York to the Panama Canal, to Tonga, to New Hebrides, to Guadalcanal, and he inscribed all of these words here. And look at this. Sunny South Seas, 1942. I'm not sure if we can see this in the inscription there.
Yeah,
there we go.
Wow.
And so
someone has carved this into this.
Yes, the person who carried this thing around all throughout all of these locations, he cared enough about his story to inscribe that all the way through.
Wow.
Very similarly, a cap from the 68th Fighter Squadron here. The pilot here, you can see, flew 35 missions, 150 combat hours, and here are all of the locations that he flew from: Luzon, Singapore, China. And so that is how personal this becomes. So it takes a really cool cloth cap and really brings it to life. This sand here, this is actually from Red Beach on Guadalcanal. This is the North Beach of Guadalcanal, where the U.S. Marine Corps originally landed. And this is right from there, taken, in fact, on August 7th, 1942, when the Marines first landed there. So, so these artifacts, they are truly one of a kind, and what a great way, especially to tell young people these stories and inspire them about these incredible human beings that there is no doubt one day they can strive to become as well.
Yeah, it's important to preserve history like this, and you guys have done a really good job at doing that, but can you articulate why? Because obviously, I mean, again, we've said it many, many times that this generation, probably their last celebration, or one of many, or one of few rather, but it's important to preserve things like these that we see on the table. Why?
Troy?
Well, certainly when we think about young people, they are getting less and less of this story every year in their history classes, even in elementary school. And this is so important when we talk about learning from history, that we have to be sure we are preserving and utilizing and teaching. We have a collection of 80,000 artifacts that I wish we could just bring out on our exhibit floor to teach every single day. Because young people do need to know, do need to be inspired by these stories. And textbooks don't bring anything to life like real artifacts from the time actually can. They provide so much context to these important stories that it's important that we keep them alive for generations to come.
Absolutely. A couple of other things you have on the table. You've got this, it looks like a replica toy plane, but you also have an air raid siren.
That we do.
That we are not going to
Let's spin that up.
Yeah, you probably didn't.
It's very loud.
It is very loud, and I think everyone else in the building might be wondering what's going on.
Yes.
So this one is very interesting. This is called trench art.
Okay.
So you think about World War I, World War II, people battling in the trenches, they could go days without seeing any action, right? And so they often had to just find things to do to try to keep that boredom at bay. So the soldiers used to take pieces of artillery and actually, with various tools, mold them into real art. And so this B-17 is an example of that trench art. This is made from real World War II artillery.
Wow.
And we have quite a few pieces of this. In fact, we made an exhibit out of this that we had on the floor at the Air Zoo for a few years as well. So really interesting to think with this metal, what it began as really weapons of destruction, and how it was turned into real art that can inspire people today.
That's really cool. When we were rounding out this week, of course, we're at Wednesday, so still a lot to go. We want to make sure we touch on the different events that we've got going on. What else can we look forward to this week?
Today at the Grand Valley State University, Hauenstein Center for Presidential Studies, we have Garrett Graff speaking about his 2 oral histories on D-Day as well as the Manhattan Project. And then we have the big World War II Film Festival this weekend. That starts on Friday, goes through the entire weekend. We have the Great Escape, Flags of Our Fathers playing on Friday night. On Saturday, we've got the Great Escape and the Great Dictator, and then another film, Casablanca, showing on Sunday afternoon. And then, of course, we have the Troy's event happening down at the Air Zoo on Saturday.
Which is really cool. I know we talked a little bit about it on Monday. Tell us about that, though, if anyone missed that interview.
Okay, so it is Saturday night, September 6th, from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. The Air Zoo is having what we're calling our victory celebration. It is a USO-style party to celebrate the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II. So we are going to have some great barbecue and, of course, coffee and donuts, because that's what they had at those USO parties.
And a band.
So we have a 20-person band.
Wow.
We're going to have some swing music, even some swing dancing lessons for people who want to learn. We're going to open up some cockpits of some of our iconic World War II aircraft, like the Stearman biplane, and maybe even that Wildcat that we brought up here. So people can look in, people can even climb in to feel what it was like to be a 20-year-old pilot flying these fighter aircraft. We are going to be bringing out artifacts like this as well. We're going to be telling some jokes a la Bob Hope also. So so it is going to be fun. And our keynote speakers coming from Washington, D.C. His name is Guy Nasuti. He's from the Naval History and Heritage Command. He is one of the world's foremost experts in Navy history. So he is going to be coming and giving a talk as well. So there is going to be so much to do, but it is just a big party, and we just learned that there's going to be a World War II veteran who is going to be attending. So we cannot wait to honor him, and maybe we hope even a few more are going to be signing up before the end of the week. So tickets are still available at airzoo.org. It is just going to be a fun way to celebrate, and like we said, this really could be the last significant anniversary where we still have World War II veterans to honor personally. So this is a great opportunity to do that, as this whole week has been.
Yeah, I know that there have been some veterans from World War II already involved in the event. What have you been hearing from them? Have they been pretty excited with how this event has turned out?
The parade was amazing. I mean, we had more than 30 World War II veterans, people like Jean and Maxine and Charles Brown. I'm so thankful, and I do want to say thank you. If you're out there and you were at the parade on Monday, thank you very much for showing up and being part of this, and thank you for showing up and helping us honor these people, the men and the women, the Rosie the Riveters, and everything else. I'm so proud of the city of Grand Rapids for coming out and supporting these folks. The parade was just absolutely amazing. I was blown away.
Yeah. Well, I'm blown away by the flyover too. Not to keep going back to that, but I was on my walk later that afternoon and I saw one of the planes overhead, and I was like, oh, that's a really interesting plane. And I'm like, oh wait, yeah, that flyover was today. So really cool to just see them in action, kind of honoring our heroes.
Yeah, it was really cool, and I hope a lot of people saw it across the state as well, where it was flying over. I heard someone say that they were on the I-96 corridor and they saw it flying over the highway, and they really loved it.
Yeah, that is so cool. Well, we can definitely see the passion in both of your eyes as you guys are making this celebration very, very special for those folks that, of course, are World War II veterans. So we appreciate your time this morning, and of course, good luck for the rest of the week. We're looking forward to seeing what else you guys have up your sleeve for the rest of the celebration too.
Thank you very much.
Tanner, very much.